What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today we're here with the Arena versus Kamazo. So this is essentially the new version of Colosseum. They're essentially scrapping the old version of Colosseum, where you'd have two different fights before you actually reach the final battle against the Colosseum unit. This time around, the arenas are just quests that are going to be available all the time, so you don't have to wait for Colosseum rotations to return, which is a good thing. So you can basically play it whenever you want, and there are two different difficulties, and essentially this is like, you know how you'd have the middle difficulty in Colosseum and then you'd have the chaos difficulty. So that's basically how this is working out here. So the highest difficulty does give you the chance to give him the limit break orb drop, and I believe they're not available. Yeah, they're not available from the 8-star difficulty. But before we get into the breakdown of this Colosseum and how it works, let's actually talk about the brand new character and see what he's actually all about. Now, I actually did stream today. I streamed me playing against this Colosseum, or this arena, should I say. It's not a Colosseum anymore, and I did actually get mine completely maxed out. I got really lucky with my orb drops, got him completely done. So let's go ahead and break him down. So Kamazo is a Dex slasher driven captain effect. It's nothing too crazy. 3 times boost to Dex with a matching slot, 2.5 otherwise, and recovery and tandem slots are beneficial to those Dex characters as well. Not a very amazing captain effect, but not 12, but a 14 turn cooldown, should I say, for his special. So completely maxed out, it goes to 14 turns, and it cuts the HP of your team by 20%, and then does 88 times the HP that you lost in tightless damage to all enemies. So that's pretty good. You're going to get a pretty good amount of damage from that, and then also reduces burn by 4 turns, reduces % damage reduction on the enemy by 4 turns, and then it says if your captain's slot is a colored orb, you get a 2 times orb boost for 2 turns. But if it's not a colored orb, so if it's a block, recovery, tandem, Wano, rainbow, semler, any type of those orbs, it's a 2.25 times orb boost for 2 turns. Ideally, you'd want to be using him for like Colosseum, Legend Kid, should I say, because obviously, spoiler alert, this is killer, right? So the fact that you could have access to someone like this, plus Kid, this procs Kid super type, you get an orb boost with this guy, you get Kid for the attack boost. You can understand why this unit was made, though it would make a little bit more sense if this unit was actually released alongside Kid, rather than whoever came out with Kid, so it's very, very weird. But either way, as for his crewmate effects, he cannot be blown away. He also gives Dex characters a base stat boost. For his potential abilities, he's got a critical hit, 70% chance, and he's got an enrage effect of 150, which is not that much, but also reduces his cooldown by 10 turns at the start of the fight. So that's amazing. So he starts off the fight with a 4-turn cooldown, and then with sockets, it's going to go down to a 2-turn cooldown, and then if you're using a cooldown chip, it's going to go down to a 1-turn cooldown. So pretty much he's going to be ready as soon as you're ready to go. He does have a very good support as well, attaching to Eustace Kid, and it says that he boosts the color affinity of driven characters by 1.3 for 1 turn when you reach the final stage. Very, very good support effect that we'll see some play. It is a little bit of a shame that only attaches to Eustace Kid though, but either way you look at it, it's still a pretty good support effect, right? So definitely get this guy maxed out. He's going to be a very useful character for upcoming content, of course. But that's the breakdown of the brand new arena unit. So let's go ahead and jump into this actual content and how to beat the Arena Kamazo. Alright, so jumping into this Colosseum breakdown video. I keep saying Colosseum, but I know it's an arena, but I know for a while I'm gonna be keeping saying, you know, Colosseum over arena, but you know, I digress. Getting into this, stage 3, we've got Otoko here with about 3 million health, and she has a perfect barrier, and if you don't kill her on that first turn, she's going to apply 3 turns of damage threshold. So you ideally want to take her out first, focus on the mob characters after the fact. The stage after this is going to be against Zoro and Gyukimaru, both of which have 6 million health, and there's 5 turns of blue shield and 5 turns of rainbow shield, and you get inflicted with 5 turns of despair. You get a full board of block orbs, and they're locked for 1 turn. Now, after 1 turn, Zoro is going to go ahead and activate a counter. He doesn't activate it straight away, but he just says, I have a counter now, and on the turn after, he will start reflecting back damage. And on turn 2 also, you've got Gyukimaru, which will blow away 2 of your crew members for 3 turns, which ideally you want to take down Gyukimaru first. You can get away with leaving Zoro alive for 1 turn, so that is something that you can take care of anyways. Moving on to Kamazo though, on the final boss stage, he's a Psy enemy with 45 million HP. He has immunity, normal attacks only, and he binds your top and middle row, which is pretty annoying, and then also he gives you 1 turn of special reverse. He empties all your slots out and then makes them impossible to change your slots with a perfect barrier for 2 hits. So the way to get around the orb change mechanic on the final boss stage is to carry some type of orb into that room that cannot be manipulated, such as Semler slots with versus Big Mom, Wano slots, or Rainbow slots. Those are the best examples of slots that you would ideally want to be using to carry that into this final boss room against Kamazo. In addition to that, he will have an interrupt against any affinity boost where he removes all your beneficial effects and all your accumulated values, so that's something that you have to keep in mind. And after you kill Kamazo, he's going to revive with only 225,000 health, so he doesn't revive with much, but after he does revive, he has 1 turn of damage immunity, and when he does revive, because he's below 20%, he uses his below 20% effect, where he's going to bind your bottom 4 characters for 5 turns. So you'll see in this example here, that will happen, and then we use Big Mom's versus effect to enable her normal attacks to bypass enemy defensive effects, which enables us to kill Kamazo through that immunity shield. But we have different teams in this video today, which will show you in different ways to get around that specific mechanic. Moving on to the secondary team today, we have Gol D Roger with a friend captain versus Big Mom, which enables us to utilize the similar slots that Big Mom has with her versus effect to carry those matching slots into multiple different rooms. Now, with this team here, we do have access to Queen, which is going to be very good for stage 4 to get rid of the defensive effects and giving us the 3x chain lock. And then we've also got Whitebeard and Marco, which is not an essential unit for this team at all, but it's just a unique character to use because it's a character that honestly doesn't see much play anymore, and the switch effect to generate a recovery slot every single turn does help us indeed with getting Big Mom's versus effect to be active while we reach stage 4. We do have Rebecca and Viola, which help us remove special bind and help us actually get a chain lock to give us increased damage on the final boss room. The Kizuna Rev Recruit Yasop is a phenomenal character because he resists the special reverse on the final room, as well as getting rid of bind. So with Yasop and Rebecca Viola on this team on the bottom row, we can resist all of the debuffs that get inflicted on stage 5. Now, this team does not have a way to get through the damage immunity on the revive of Kamazo, but what happens is after the first turn after the revive, it doesn't really do much. He gives you like increased damage taken, or he gives you hunger. So yeah, he gives you hunger, that's what it was. And then after you stall out the 1 turn of damage immunity, you do have the hunger inflicted to your team, which is obviously a bad thing, because hunger will reduce your damage by a very significant portion. And unfortunately, this team doesn't kill after that first turn of hunger, but then after that, like, he still doesn't really do anything. So, you know, as long as you do have a pretty substantial amount of health when you kill this guy, you don't really need a very specific unit to help you get around that damage immunity. So long as you have a pretty substantial amount of health, you're going to be fine with taking out Kamazo just with your normal attacks once the debuff or once the buff on his side of the field has expired. Moving on to the third team of the video is going to be utilizing super type Blackbeard, which again is another character that I haven't used in a long time, but you know, if I get an opportunity to use him and it's an effective strategy, I definitely want to showcase it. Blackbeard is a really good unit for this fight, and as you guys will see towards the end of this clip, Blackbeard really does manhandle Kamazo because the amount of damage that you can get from Blackbeard, obviously with full type advantage on this team, is pretty useful, man. We are using Shirahoshi Mancherry for the strat to enable us to get, not really recovery, but the rainbow slots. So of course we can take 1 turn to kill one of the mini bosses on stage 4, and we use the Shirahoshi Menshiri special, of course. Now remember, you only get the rainbow slots when you switch them. So we can take one turn, we have a full board of orbs that are locked, and then on the turn after, once they go back to their singular form, we can switch to get rainbow slots and then lock them again with the Megalo ship. And because we've used one Blackbeard to kill one boss, we have to use the other Blackbeard to kill the other boss. But we do have V2 Ray Dofi, which will enable us to extend the duration of the attack and orb boosts that are active on our team. And when we reach the final stage, Kamazo doesn't remove our beneficial effects. So it's extremely useful that we can go ahead and do that, so we can carry Blackbeard's boosts into the next room, because we only really need one major turn of boosts. So we're going to have a 4 times attack and orb boost from Blackbeard, and we do have the affinity of Thal Nami support on our team as well. And then with those full rainbow slots, the enemy cannot change them, of course, when we reach that final boss room. And then the really cool thing about Blackbeard and what makes him a super useful unit for this fight is his super type special. Now everyone pretty much knows what a part of his super type special is, where it gives himself a 1000 base attack boost. Everyone understands that, but there's an additional effect with his super type special that says remove all enemies' beneficial effects by 1 turn. And remember, when he revives, your captains are free to do whatever they want, and he has 1 turn of damage immunity. So as long as you have a super type special to launch after the revive, you can remove the damage immunity and just kill him, because he's only got 200,000 HP. So it's very easy from there. So super type Blackbeard, it is a little bit slow because you need to make sure that you have the 4 times attack and orb boost before you reach stage 4. But if you do that, it's going to be an extremely easy fight from stage 4 onwards. So I'll leave you guys with the rest of this clip, and we'll pick things up with the final team of the video. The final team of this video is going to be utilizing super type Katakuri with the friend captain of Big Mom. Now I did mention this in my Big Mom showcase video, where, yeah, you can hybrid her out with a lot of really good units, and we saw Roger a little bit earlier on. Super type Katakuri is an option, but of course one of the big things is Big Mom is very centered around healing back a lot of HP, whereas Katakuri is a character that really wants to be at lower HP thresholds. So there is a little bit of a clash going on between these two units here. But despite the fact that we do recover a lot of HP, and when we do reach the final boss stage, we are going to be only having the 4 times captain effect instead of the 5 times captain effect of Katakuri. With all of our effects active, we're going to have enough damage output no matter what. Legend Chopper is a really good unit for this fight as well, because his special ability on stage 5 is going to remove bind, it's going to remove the special bind, it's going to be a perfect unit to help you get around some of those debuffs there. Pudding is basically here just to ensure that we can special reverse our whole team on stage 5, so she's a completely replaceable unit. Jinbei is really nice here with the support of Halloween Law, so that when we remove the enemy's defensive effects, because Jinbei is a damage dealing special, Halloween Law gives our int characters a 1.75 times orb boost, so that is very, very awesome for the team to work. And then we also have the Legend Capone, which isn't super essential, but it gives us just a kind of an avenue to get our super type special ready with Katakuri, and it does make clearing this stage 4 a lot easier, because we will have the 5 times captain effect from Katakuri at this point as well. And Big Father is a super nice effect to have here as well, because it means that when we do get to Kamazo and we do take him down, we don't have a unit that gets rid of damage immunity immunity, so we can just tank a couple of hits with Big Father, and then we can go ahead and take him down once the debuff has been removed. But that is going to conclude this video today against the Arena Kamazo unit. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video today, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, and if you want to stay up to date with all of the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.